Home screen setups have long been a pain point for Apple just because a lot of their customization really isn't left up to us, to the consumer. A lot of their home screen setups are made by Apple themselves and they don't really allow you to customize much of the apps or much of the widgets. For that reason, I am sticking to Android home screen setups for the next couple months until I can figure out how to make that experience and that whole setup process a lot easier on iOS, so that when I teach you guys, it can be just as simple and as easy for you guys as it will be for me, hopefully. Let's talk tech experience. What is up, you guys? Gabriel from NERDGRAFX here, and today we're going to be taking a look at my Android home screen setup that I have been using for the past month. And I'm releasing this at the beginning of March so that you can go ahead and set your phone up and hopefully use your phone with this home screen setup for the next month, or at least a month, I should say. If you really like the setup, you can keep this setup permanently, but I will be releasing monthly videos where I change my setup and I make a brand new one so that you guys can pick which one is your favorite and which one you will be sticking to. Now, for the main part of the customization, I actually use Nova Launcher as my launcher for my Android phone. I do like the Pixel launcher a lot, and I like what they're doing with the Material You software, but unfortunately they don't really allow you much of a customization when it comes to changing the icons and changing the way your phone looks and all of the home screen and how many tiles you can allow. So for that reason, I went with Nova Launcher. I am using the free version. I don't need the extra, all of the extra premium options and all the premium features. So you can go ahead and buy that if that's what you are into and that's what you need. But just to let you know, all of my home screen setups will be with the free version of Nova Launcher. Now, just because I am not paying for Nova Launcher doesn't mean I didn't pay for anything in this setup. I did pay for the pro version of K-Widget app, which allows you to install third-party widgets and have those in there, as well as buying a widget pack called, it's called Shadow K-Widget. And I believe the designer's name is Eduardo, or at least that's what it says on the Play Store. And I really like his design, so I went ahead and supported him and I bought his straight off of the Play Store. So that will cost you a little bit. I believe it will be no more than $8 for that. But just so you know, I will be buying those just so that it's not as time consuming and I'm not sitting there for 3 to 5 hours just to have one widget. Now, for this reason, it will also be a lot easier for you guys to customize your own phone, your own Android experience, and just know that there are options to go out there and support other creators who are making these, who are designing these widgets, and it'll cost you only $1 to $5, I believe, for their widget packs, and it will be a lot easier for you to customize your phone. So like I mentioned, I really enjoyed the Material You skin that Google is doing on Android 12 with their Pixel devices, of changing all of the icons and widgets to that pastel-like color. I really enjoyed that, so I went and I looked for something similar, and I ran into these icon pack called Ucons or U icons, and honestly, I really like how they look. They bring all of that pastel-y colors, all of those Google circles. They really made it to match the Material You skin that Google has on the Pixel launcher. So I really like them, and that's where I got them from. Now, on top of that, I also removed the names from my icons. You can do this through Nova Launcher, and I removed the names just because I wanted it to be a little more minimal and a little less wordy. So I removed that, so it's only the icons themselves, and this icon pack called U Icons is really great because all of the icons match exactly what the normal icon would look like, and it doesn't just completely change it all up. So I still know exactly what I'm clicking on when I look at the icon itself. Now, like I mentioned in previous videos, I do like to keep my home screen minimal and productive, or useful, I should say. So I did get rid of most of the apps that I had on here. I did used to have some of the apps that I use for shopping and some of the apps I use for work, but I really have condensed that down to the ones I use like 90% of the time. And I did keep it, or I limited myself to only using 5 apps and only keeping 5 apps on the dock or the bottom part of the phone. So for that, all the 5 apps that I chose, 4 of them are for my content creation. I do have Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and YouTube Studio, and then I have my Messages app as well on here with the rest. Now these are the apps that I use a ton. I mostly use YouTube to watch all of my content and all the other content that there is out there. I'm not really a person that watches shows on Netflix. I'm more of a YouTube, I guess, consumer. Whenever I want to watch a video, whenever I want to watch a show or anything like that, I go straight to YouTube rather than watching a show on Netflix or Hulu. Now I also kept YouTube Studio here because obviously I upload videos, so that's where I go and I look at all the analytics, I answer comments, and also edit anything from the title to the description of a video, and sometimes even the thumbnail. I also have Instagram and Twitter on here because they're my two other social media apps that I use. I go on here to both look at pictures / news from other people, anything that people are posting, as well as interact with everyone. I really like to be engrossed and, engross myself into the tech community. So in both of these, I follow mostly tech content creators, or I guess tech news sites, because I really like to see that. I really like to watch all of that stuff. Do remember though that just because I don't have any other apps and I only have 5 apps on here doesn't mean that I don't use any of the other apps. Searching for all of the other apps is as simple as scrolling up, getting into that Pixel, or I guess that Android app drawer, and then either I search from the top or I search by scrolling through the app drawer and finding the app that I need. Now, like I mentioned, these widgets that I have here, I did get from the Play Store. The designer's name is Eduardo, and I really like these Shadow K widget apps, or I guess these widgets that he designed. I like that it has that drop shadow in the back. And he does also include both dark theme and light theme for both of these widgets. So as you can see, if I scroll here to the next page, I do also have the light theme ones so that you guys can see exactly what it would look like if you change that from the black. Now, I personally do like the black theme or dark theme better, especially with this Google wallpaper in the back, which I really enjoy, and I like the way it looks, especially with all the pastel-y icons. So I am going to be sticking to the dark theme, but just so you know, there are the light themes available if that's what you are into. So the first widget, like I mentioned on top, does show the weather for both today and the next 2 days. I really use this a lot to really guide exactly how I'm going to dress and how the next couple days are going to look. I do also take my dog out on a walk, so it's really nice to see how I should dress whenever I take her for a walk. And living in Arizona, it does get kind of hot, so it also helps me see whether or not I can take her for a walk mid-afternoon before I go to work, or I have to wait until the night until it cools down a bit and the ground isn't too hot for her paws to walk on. Now the second widget is dashboard-like because it does have multiple uses. It does have the time, it has the date, it has a battery life, as well as access to 3 different apps. Now the time and date, I don't really use it much. I do have a smartwatch. I use my Galaxy Watch whenever I want to look for the date, but it is nice to have there whenever I turn on my phone looking at my home screen and I want to see the time at a glance. It is nice to have it there. But like I mentioned, for the most part, I just have this on here because it is part of that widget and it takes too much time for me to remove it. Like I mentioned, I want to make this as easy, as fast of a process as possible. So if it comes with the widget, I left it on there. I don't think it looks bad, and I honestly use it every once in a while. Now the second part of this is the battery indicator, and I honestly use this all the time. So I know you can see the battery at the top right of the screen, and you'll see a little percentage. But honestly, for me, whenever I unlock my phone, I always see that glowing green or glowing red battery indicator, and that helps me see whether or not I need to charge my phone. Like I mentioned before, I don't really get great battery life out of this Pixel 6, so being able to see that red indicator and thinking, oh, I need to charge this phone right now, or I need to charge it soon, is really great, and it helps me keep my phone alive at least through the day. That way I can just throw it on the charger overnight and then start again with 100%. Now this widget also came with 3 other app shortcuts, and 2 of them are ones that I don't really use. They're the email and the phone. I have mentioned that for phone calls and all of other calls, I do use the Messages app because again, you can just click the little phone in the top right corner and it'll send you straight to calling that person. But it is on here, like I also, just like with the time and date, it was part of the widget. It came on here and I have them there. It's nice to have the email one on there because that is something I use for work, personal work, and content creation. I'm constantly looking through my emails and I get a ton. So I like going into the Gmail app and then clearing out any emails that I won't be needing. Now, the other app on here, honestly, I'm a huge fan of, just because in the Pixel launcher, you have that swipe, I guess you swipe right and you go to the screen on the left side and you get the Google app all the way on the left. So using Nova Launcher, you kind of lose that feature. So something I've been using a lot is using this app shortcut, and then whenever you click on it, it sends you straight to the Google app. Now, I am not super fluent in K-Widget or in Nova Launcher, so there are some things that are left up to you if you want to change or if you think could make your experience better. Go ahead and do that. Like I mentioned, I want to make these home screen setups so that they're easy and simple and that any of you guys can make just with the click of a couple of buttons. So unfortunately, that does make me use some of the pre-made widgets that you can get straight off of the Play Store and other icon packs straight off of the Play Store. I will try and make some, or I guess I will try and save you guys some money and see if I can find some free ones that work really great. But if not, just know that you can always create any of these widgets and any of these icons yourself, especially if you're really savvy with the K-Widget app. You do have to pay for that pro license to add some more extra customizability or some extra features. But just know that if you really want to get into that and make your own very specific and unique way of making your phone look, you can go that route. I am in the process of making monthly setup videos, so if there is a specific theme you would like to see next month, let me know down in the comments what theme that is. And while you are down there, don't forget to like this video if you enjoy the content and subscribe to not miss any of my future uploads. And I will catch you guys on the next Android setup.